For years we've wondered one question, one age-old question that we still don't know an answer to. What?
Mama, I didn't like when the Brave Man died. Why did he do that?
Racking my brains, I don't know to this day. Why did he do that? It's just one of those mysteries that we'll never really know. Stop asking stupid questions, you little shit. No, but really, there's one question that we've asked so many times, but I've never got a real answer. Something we've wondered about everything to do with zombies, but with The Walking Dead it's just been completely evaded. And that's saying something for the longest zombie series in existence. It's been going on and will go on for the longest. The Walking Dead comics just recently got wrapped up, and the show will still go on after they've passed that storyline. Every time The Walking Dead has started up a new season, we still ask, why are they in this situation in the first place? What was the beginning of all of these characters that we know being put into this new world? What caused the zombie virus in The Walking Dead? Well, just recently we got an answer to that question. How did I get this answer? Where was it found? Well, where are most of life's big questions answered now? Twitter. Twitter user 80s Carl Weathers tweeted out to Robert Kirkman saying, "Hey, Robert Kirkman, so we never got an answer even with the comic finished. What caused the zombies?" And after years of mystery and anticipation, Robert Kirkman replies and reveals,
"This is gonna be crazy. No one's gonna know what's coming. It's gonna be awesome. People are gonna be blown away. I'm gonna kill the book like I killed the character in the comic.
Why did I do this?
Great.
This is nuts.
Last year.
No one's ever done this before because it's crazy. Maybe no one should do this. Why have I done? I can't back out now. Maybe no one should do. What am I gonna do?
Why have I done? I can't back out now. It's too late. What am I gonna do?"
Space Spore.
Space Spore. SPACE SPORE. Space fucking Spore. After years, he tweets it. Not even a main tweet, it's a reply. Space Spore. More than 15 years, this comic went on. The Walking Dead show going on 10, and Robert Kirkman decides to reveal this massive deal in a tweet reply.
Now obviously here he's being facetious, but it's really interesting to me because not only has he evaded the question every single time he's been asked about it, and joked about it before, this is the first time he's ever given a real answer. Never has he actually suggested, even as a joke, what it could be. And if he went on to explain why he said this, I still wouldn't believe the man that ended his 15-year comic book storyline that abruptly, and even went as far as to make fake issue covers. Issue 194 and 195 were actually for sale. You could buy them, only to be refunded months later down the line, because they didn't exist. That's the length he went to trick people. He once said he'd never explain how it happened, and he also said he would never explore the idea of a cure. And whenever I talk about the cure nowadays with the CRM, theories about what they could want and what other future a cure could have, people are always quick to turn it down by simply saying Robert Kirkman said he wouldn't. Because Robert Kirkman said he wouldn't explore a cure, people think a cure will never happen. Well, things change and people change, and like I've said, he went as far as to create fake issues so that he could surprise everyone with that abrupt ending. He did it to surprise people, to shock. So what he said in a 2008 interview doesn't really matter, because even if he did genuinely mean it, even if he wasn't joking, things change. And he could have easily meant what he said. With his story, with his The Walking Dead, he had written all of it. That was his story. That was Rick Grimes' story. He ended it after Rick Grimes' death, because that for him was The Walking Dead. He said that at the very beginning when he first ever started it. We're going to be following Rick Grimes, but he also said The Walking Dead's main show is about the universe. It goes further than Rick Grimes. It will go on as a franchise, even if Rick Grimes does permanently leave The Walking Dead universe after his movies. So with his own story, he was telling the truth. He didn't explore anything to do with the cure or the zombies. Nothing to do with the virus, but he's now onto a much bigger story. With the likes of Scott Gimple and Angela Kang and all these other writers, something bigger is going to happen. And the CRM is just the beginning of that. That's just the peak of how much bigger the show's going to make it, because it has to. That's why I introduced the idea of a new Walker. That's why I think it's likely we're going to see something like that. Because it's got to appeal to a bigger audience the longer it goes on for. What a TV show has to do is so much more different than a comic book. This show has to keep people invested. The remixes that we've had over the years, from the comic deaths, the storylines, those remixes have been made because it's better for the show and in the long-term story. You've got to keep it fresh, and the Commonwealth storyline alone will damage the show, but it won't if they do it bigger. We are witnessing them doing it bigger. And that's why I do think we're going to see so much more about the walkers. So, now Robert Kirkman has finally given an answer at all about what the cause of the virus is. What does this mean? First of all, just know that I don't think he's being frivolous here. I know it seems like that, but he's never given an answer like this before. It's almost like a form of reverse psychology. He's knowingly responding jokingly, but he didn't have to respond to this tweet. He doesn't really do that. This is the first time he's given a straight up answer that he's not going to do it. Now that his comic story is over, it's into the big show. All his thoughts is going into, when it comes to The Walking Dead, this show. Everything he says about it now is based on this universe, because what they're doing is universe building. So space spore, that's most possibly now how the virus started. It came from space. It spreads to humans. It only affects humans. Animals don't come back from it. Everyone is infected with it. And when you die, bitten or not, you come back with the virus as a host. In no way are the viruses in The Walking Dead conscious. It takes a person being dead or being physically injected by the virus to have it spread to then be affected by it. So you couldn't actually call it a symbiote. A symbiote is more in partnership with other bacteria, with other viruses. But this is just one virus that takes over your brain once your initial brain activity is gone. You lose all your memories and feeling before actually having the virus take over. So if it came from space, does that mean aliens? Well, I don't think aliens is ever going to happen to The Walking Dead on screen. We're not going to see E.T. come down and start having a go at Daryl or something. Remember what I said about the virus. You have to be dead for it to come back. So it's not really showing that it was a controlled attack on humans. If it is revealed that it was a controlled attack, then that would be more on a human side. For example, the CRM looked like they were prepared way before the apocalypse even happened. They have all this advanced technology that looked like it was prepared for and made way before. It was just made for this. And with the power it looks like they have, if anything, it looks like they would be in charge of directing this virus. Or they at least have knowledge of a military power or a government power that created this virus in the first place. For example, the fact you have to be dead for this virus to do anything and for it to be spread. The fact it only works after you're dead is something that would be used in wars, in battles. It's something that brings dead people back. Soldiers in wars, once they die, they'd come back and kill without the care, without the strategy. It would make them unstoppable like the walkers, unless they get shot in the brain. Think back to that flashback we had of Shane at the hospital, protecting Rick, having to leave Rick. The military was shooting at the civilians. Yeah, it seems like something they'd do and be told and ordered to do to protect it from getting out, to stop the disease spreading. But that's also a known thing that secret organisations would do to keep the evidence hidden. If a place was riddled with disease like Atlanta, you would quarantine that place. That's what happens in real life. When a virus like this happens, you quarantine that area. When you start killing people, it's more because they're witnesses. When Rick first woke up in that hospital and he walked out of the building, he saw bodies, but they weren't being burnt. They were just wrapped up to count. These wrapped up corpses were just victims of the soldiers' killings, not of the virus. This virus is rapid. It was being killed. They weren't quarantining them. They were killing the civilians like they knew. Like they had been told the effects of it. Like there's no cure. Once you have it, there's no getting treatment for it. You just get it and die. And so the higher power that was ordering these soldiers to kill, whoever gave those orders were aware of the effects of it. They knew how bad it was, and seeing Dr. Jenner in Season 1 is just the tail end of it. He was a scientist. He was pretty much the only hope, as we saw then, of some kind of resolve or cure, and he gave up hope. And the efforts that the military went to protect the virus, by killing it, by killing anyone that had it, means they knew how major the effects would be and how it would end up being. Just look at Area 51, it's now renowned for protecting some deep dark stuff or some quite sinister stuff. It's because of the efforts they go to protect something like that. In a place where UFO sightings have been seen allegedly, Area 51 draws so much attention because of how drastic they get about protecting it. And some other stories about it, but that's for another video. But after Robert Kirkman said this, there is likely a certain direction that they're going to take. Once the show gets past the point where the comics ended, that would mean these characters have built that civilization. They finally built this big everlasting community. There wouldn't be any more big villain disputes and confrontation. They would have finally built that for themselves. It would just be from there, fixing the Walker problem. And after Robert Kirkman said this, I think it's likely it did come from space. If it's a space spore, then it likely came down from a meteor, which means there's likely more of them. And once these characters see that very first spore, they'd think back to the Russian satellite that they saw in the season 10 premiere and think it's like that, only to go up to it and be infected. This wouldn't only be characters like Eugene finding out that this was the start of it all, but that it's another way to get infected, to get killed. Not just by dying and becoming a walker, not just by getting bit, by going anywhere near the vicinity of one of these spores. If you breathe it in, just like getting bit, your infection is hired and you die. I've spoke about new walkers on the channel before. This could be how it happens. If you turn because of these spores, if you turn directly from the cause of it, you could go completely versatile. Meaning, well, you go apeshit. It's a new threat to the characters and it's a new storyline. It would probably be one of the last storylines that the main show does. Because like I've said, if it goes on after that storyline, after they finally built their civilization and getting the world back to how it was, which has been the goal this whole time, walkers are next on the to-do list. And just so I mention it, because I know there's going to be some people saying it, there was a one-off comic book called The Alien, The Walking Dead The Alien, and it followed Rick Grimes' brother. It's just a side story, and no, it doesn't have anything to do with UFOs or aliens or space. It was just the short story of Rick Grimes' brother. But I want to know what you think. How do you think this virus started? Has this video changed your mind? Do you think it's from space? Do you think it's aliens? Do you think it was military? Do you think it was a controlled attack? Is it human-made? Make sure you let me know. And of course, don't just vote in the poll. Make sure you comment down below what you think. I really want to hear what you think on this. Especially on this topic. I've never spoken about this on the channel before. But I'm definitely going to again. Because this has been really interesting and fun to talk about. And of course, I'm going to talk about other zombie things as well. There's loads of stuff to talk about. But if you enjoyed this video, then make sure you press the like button. It actually genuinely supports me. And will get this video more seen. And if you did enjoy it, then make sure you check out my other videos. I think Rosita is extremely likely to die in The Walking Dead Season 10. So watch this video to find out more. There's loads of foreshadowing, there's loads of symbolism, and loads of other stuff that suggests she will die at the end of Season 10. Make sure you go and check it out. And in this video, I show you proof as to why Rick Grimes will appear at the end of The Walking Dead World Beyond, that third spin-off show. If you have no interest in watching that, or you want to be more excited for it, then make sure you go and watch this video. There's actually quite a lot to be excited for, and it's probably just a big stepping stone to the Rick Grimes movies. So if you don't like World Beyond and you want to be more excited, watch this, because I think Rick Grimes is going to be there at the end. And of course, make sure you subscribe so that you are the first to hear about The Walking Dead and the first to see my videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.
I've been having negative thoughts, yeah, my head is messed up, yeah, my heart is messed up. So my fucking soul at what cost? I just need them to stop all these negative thoughts. Everywhere they follow, I just need them to stop all these negative thoughts. I just need them to stop all these negative thoughts.